Hi guys, Trevor Swenson with Through the Darkness. My journey with PTSD and trauma and stressor-related disorder. And I want to talk about a topic today that has affected me greatly in my walk with PTSD, and that is comorbidity. I don't even like saying the word, but comorbidity obviously is all of the different ailments or medical issues that come along with PTSD. And the reason I want to talk about my comorbidity today is that I want to challenge you to take care of yourself on the medical side as well as on the psychological side. Trauma is very difficult on one's body, as I have found out the many ways that it manifests itself in my overall health and sense of well-being, or my sense of not feeling well. But some things that I wanted to talk about in my own personal health in hopes of maybe encouraging you to see your doctor and ask about some of these things in yourself so you can get yourself covered as far as physical health is concerned, because trauma is extremely, as I said, difficult on the body. It's just like holding your one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake and expecting nothing to take place physically is not very realistic. So for me, for instance, one of the areas is cardiovascular, and the heart palpitations. I talked about that in an earlier video, and also my blood pressure is extremely high, having developed PTSD, like 165 over 115 while I was resting, which is not cool. And one thing I learned as well is that, I forgot what lecture I was listening to on trauma, but extended trauma or trauma also can have the effect of raising one's resting pulse rate for a good amount of time. So for instance, almost every single time that I go in to see anybody medically about anything, which is the other frustrating thing about PTSD, is that before PTSD my health was extremely good. There wasn't the comorbidity and this broad swath of things that needed to be addressed medically with me. But one of the questions that I got normally was, are you uptight about today's visit? And there would be times legitimately where I was, but as a rule of thumb, I wasn't, and my resting pulse rate is high, is close to 90 beats per minute, is over 80. Very rarely is it under 80, and it's usually high into the or close to 90. And I've come to find out that that can be one of the things that can be affected by extended trauma, extended duress. So something else that you should be concerned with. Blood sugars. Because your endocrine system, my endocrine system, was so messed up, dumping all of these adrenaline linked chemicals into my body for so long, my endocrine system was screwed up, not only because of that, because of the duration, but also because of my alcoholism, which, if you think that you're going to be able to have a problem with alcohol and have it not affect other parts of your body, I don't think that that's going to be the case. Alcoholism is nothing to screw around with. And as you know, for me, it actually developed into type 2 diabetes. And because I didn't get help for such a period of time, it also ended up starting to do nerve damage in the extremities of my body, particularly in my feet, which is one of the first places that they will check. And so have them check your blood sugars. Ask about those things if you've been traumatized by something, because it really does wreak havoc on one's body. It's very, very difficult. Sleep disorders. One of the things that I struggle with, as you know, is insomnia and sleep apnea, both of which I did not have before PTSD. And when you get your sleep screwed up, obviously that is just going to lead to things that are frustrating and hard on your body on top of dealing with the trauma. And so I really just want, my message today is really to take care of yourself physically and to go in to see a doctor if you have been struggling with trauma or PTSD, because it is very, very difficult on a body. And I'm speaking from my own experience with those comorbid things that I have going on with myself, on top of the comorbidity of major depressive disorder, anxiety disorder, the recovering alcoholic, and all the things that those things bring with it, and then the cardiovascular system, and then the endocrine system as well are or can be affected. And one of the things about, I was just talking to somebody that I love very dearly. They came over to see me, and I try to explain to people exactly where I'm at, and I use the analogy because this guy in my life who I love dearly is a man who I look up to, like I would look up to my father for the influence that he has been to me. I said it really feels like every day for the last almost 2 years, if not before that, because I can hardly remember the years prior to that because it's been such a battle, but it feels like I have the flu every single day, at least until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just, I feel sick. The life is gone. Picture yourself having the flu for 2+ years minimum. And on top of that, the overwhelming feeling of a bad landing in the flight on an airplane. I told you that both of my sons are aspiring pilots, and it feels like a bad landing is going to happen every single day, and then those symptoms tend to get better later on into the evening as we go. But it's just this vicious cycle. And all I want you to hear from today's message is that there are so many things in myself that I can use as examples of comorbidity in PTSD that I want to make you aware of, because if I can help you catch something early with your doctors and with your therapists, or encourage you to go to a doctor, I've done more than I could ever have accomplished or wish to have accomplished in helping people get better and be well and address PTSD. This is Trevor Swenson with Through the Darkness. Thank you for being with me today. I can't wait to be with you again very soon. Be well. Take care of yourself. God loves you more than you could ever imagine.